Today I'm having a similar dish to one I just recently had, um, called kalongmian. Um, However, the previous one that I had was quite a traditional version of kalongmian. This is a very kind of weird fusiony one. So I thought I would show you have like just like in any kind of cuisine, you have traditional versions of things and more trying things out and fusiony and other things like that. So the sort of traditional way to have this is the noodle sheets, and this has that, right? These are the noodle sheets, and then the noodle sheets with maybe like a sausage and the sauce, and then all chopped up and like cilantro, maybe a bit of onion. Um, and some egg. Like it always has egg on the back. So like you can see on this side it's just noodle, and then on this side it's got the egg on it. Actually, I don't know if you can. I think that's a little better view. And it has a very specific kind of like sweet and sour sauce. And so this time, what I got is a very fusiony kind of thing that is a fusion of that dish, another Chinese dish, and some Western stuff. So this is kalongmian. It's the same kind of dish, but the meat they've added is called new fei or new pharaoh. So pharaoh is like fatty meat. It's pretty common to have in like hot pot and other kinds of dishes where you have thin sliced meat, and this is like sort of fatty beef. It's very similar to the kind of meat. It probably is the same kind of meat that you would get in a hot pot restaurant. Potentially, this place is slicing themselves. Probably not. What they're probably getting is you can buy this in bulk. Like it's thinly sliced beef, like fatty beef, that's been rolled up and frozen into these little rolls. And then when you start cooking it, it comes apart. And so you get that at hot pot restaurants, at Kaoro or barbecue kind of Korean style barbecue restaurants. It's in a whole bunch of different. It's a very common ingredient that you get in various cooking here. However, it's not a very traditional thing to put with kalongmian. So that's kind of one of the fusion elements. And then along with that, they put a bunch of corn, which also is not particularly common in kalongmian. And the sauce that's on it, rather than being the traditional kalongmian sauce, is called heihujiao sauce, or black pepper sauce. This is a very common sauce that's used often with beef. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's Chinese. I think it's something that's come into Chinese cuisine from either from Japan or from the West. It's attempting to be kind of a steak sauce kind of thing. And often, if you buy a steak here, it'll come with this kind of sauce, black pepper sauce. But you can also buy lots of kind of like barbecue style beef that has this sauce, black pepper beef, basically. I think that might even be a Chinese food dish in American Chinese food restaurants. And I also think it's reasonably common in Japanese cuisine as well. So this has that kind of sauce on it rather than the traditional kalongmian sauce. And then the final kind of what really caught my eye about this when I was looking through stuff to get is that it has cheese in it, which is I've never heard of that before. And kalungmian. So this has like uh it's just shredded up cheese they put in, and it's just kind of melted, and I can't really find any bits of it to show you because it's just kind of melted throughout. But I can taste it, and like occasionally I see little stringy bits of melted cheese. But that to me is very strange. It tastes really good. So, that's why people do fusion food, because, oftentimes different cultural cuisines mixed all together, just kind of jumbled up, can actually be quite good. But so this is like very non-traditional. For this kind of a dish, but it's actually quite a common thing here to have, little shops that are doing interesting, different takes on, old traditional foods. Like, the style of kalungmian that like I got in the last video where I had it, that you can get that at like hundreds and hundreds of, potentially thousands of little street stalls just in the city I live in. And then across like northern China, it's everywhere. So that dish is like extremely prevalent, like everywhere. And almost every location, it's almost identical. Like there's slight variations, and like one cook might make it slightly better than another, but in general, it's basically the same wherever you go. But occasionally you find a little place that's just like, we like this idea, but we want to do it with black pepper beef and cheese and corn, and this is really good, actually. So, I love that kind of thing. You get another one that I think I missed out on being able to have it on this channel because I think the restaurant actually closed now. But there's another street food called a jianbing guozi that I've had on here before. It's more like a wrap kind of thing. And there was this restaurant that instead of doing the traditional, just kind of like some sausage and egg and lettuce and other normal stuff, they just did like curry chicken and rice wrapped up in that, and it was fantastic, but it was like extremely non-traditional, but it was good. And this is similar to that, like in that kind of regard. It's like, it's not the flavors you expect with this kalungmian dish. So if you ordered this and weren't paying attention and just thought it was going to be normal kalungmian, you would be really weirded out. But I ordered it knowing it was black pepper beef cheese kalungmian. And it's quite good. So this is a shorter video. I just wanted to kind of show that, like, while there is like very traditional versions of stuff, there's also a lot of, and this is a pretty common kind of thing, there's a lot of restaurants here that just do weird, strange takes on stuff. They might try to do a westernized version, or this one is kind of westernized and kind of more just like a mix of several different Chinese cuisines. Or like places might do like a Japanese Chinese fusion kind of thing, or like some other, there's several in the city I live in, there's several kind of like Thai, Vietnamese kind of fusion restaurants. So like, they've got traditional food, you can get traditional stuff, but occasionally you want something a little interesting and just different. And this is that. So what's in it is, so it's called zhishi. Zhishi is cheese. So there's two ways to say cheese, nai lao and zhishi. Zhishi is usually the way you refer to cheese when it's in something, and nai lao is just when you're talking about cheese. So it's zhishi, heihu jiao, black pepper, I think it was called New Pharaoh. Heihu Fei New. Sorry, not New Fair. It's Fei New. They call it Fei New, which means Fei New Row. So fatty beef. Kalong Mian. Kalong Mian, so Lung Mian, I explained this in a previous video, so I'm not going to go over it. Lung Mian means cold noodles, which is a dish, and then Kao is like grilled, so grilled cold noodles. And then it's got corn as well, Yumi Li. All right, thanks for watching.